You're not going to find a better list of players that are rising and players that are falling. The players we are most proud of drafting and the players we are the saddest for drafting. And make sure you tune until the very end because I'm going to let you know which players you need to be targeting with some buy low offers because you can get them real cheap right now to win a championship with them later.
On the court where the legends are made, fantasy dreams where the stats get paid. Barack Lesnar's throne.
Barack Lesnar Hoops Fantasy Basketball.
Hey, this is Barack Lesnar of Barack Lesnar Hoops, and this video today is the Week 3 Risers and Fallers Deep Dive Analysis. Before we get started, do me a favor and smash that button for me. Subscribe to Barack Lesnar Hoops if you have not yet, and click that bell notification so you can be alerted when these videos drop. So in this first section, we're going to be covering the players that are rising. Austin Reeves right now outdoing all expectations that anyone had for him. And I was drafting around pick 50. I reached for him a little bit in some leagues. The reason being, I thought his ability to produce even with a healthy Luka and a healthy LeBron James gave him a lot of upside. And so far, we've seen it. And the team has not been at full health, and he has stepped up. He's averaging 32 points, 5.2 rebounds, 9.3 assists with 1.3 steals, shooting 47% from the field and 93% from the free throw line on 10 attempts per game. If you drafted Austin Reeves, your team is probably sitting real pretty. The next guy was traded away by the Oklahoma City Thunder after he got himself in some controversy. Giddey is absolutely crushing it over the last 2 weeks, averaging 49% from the field, 75% from the free throw line, almost 2 3-pointers per game. But the points, rebounds, assist production is insane with 23.1 points, 10 rebounds, 9.1 assists over the last 2 weeks. A very well-rounded contributor, ranked in the top 10. Could get those steals up. He could potentially end up a top 5 player. Is it sustainable? Possibly. If you drafted him with a second-round pick or a third-round pick, you have to be ecstatic with this sort of production. Kawhi Leonard is a huge injury liability, which is why he tends to fall in drafts. I was grabbing him around pick 45 to 55. He's averaging 24.3 points, 2.5 steals, 2.3 three-pointers while shooting 50% from the field and 96% from the free throw line. And keep in mind, he's going to miss time. Like, he has a possibility of not only keeping that up, but if you manage to have him during the fantasy basketball playoffs when the Clippers have a very strong schedule, this guy is a potential league winner. The Edwards went down with an injury, and this player has stepped up and has been producing at an early round level. Julius Randle has been killing it, 26 points per game with 7 rebounds, 5.9 assists. It's even helping you with some steals with 1.3. He's very efficient from the field, 55% on 16 shot attempts, 83% on almost 7 free throw attempts. Right now, Julius Randle might be putting up the best fantasy production of his career just because he's always scored, he's always rebounded, he's always gotten you assists, but the areas in which he hurt you were typically his efficiency, his turnovers, and his lack of defensive contributions. But with 1.3 steals, all those threes, and that efficiency around production might be sustainable. One of my biggest regrets is not targeting Jrue Holiday more. He's been producing at a top 20 level, has been outdoing all expectations for a guy you could have drafted after pick 100. I thought there was a severe regression in his time with the Celtics, but it looks like his role and lack of usage had more to do with it than his actual talent. Points, 4.7 rebounds, 8.3 assists with 1.4 steals, shooting 80% from the free throw line, taking almost 14 shot attempts and making almost 47% of them. This next point guard has always had the potential, but he suffered from efficiency issues, turnover issues, and being on a Jazz team to play some really funky games when it comes to player availability. Averaging 9.6 free throws per game and making 91% of them. 14.7 shot attempts, making 43% of them. So 23.1 points, along with 8.1 assists per game, getting you a steal per game, and averaging 2.2 assists to turnover ratio. So very nice across the board contributions. If he get that efficiency up, guy could be a potential league winner as long as he can stay healthy. Kevin Porter Jr. ended up being a multi-week absence, which opened the door for Ryan Rollins to be one of the top fantasy basketball producers so far this season. He's getting you 1.9 threes, shooting 51% from the field on 12 shot attempts, averaging 16.3 points, 3.4 rebounds, 5.6 assists with almost 2 steals per game. Honestly, that ownership percentage seems crazy low to me. The Tsunami Poppy, Kelly Oubre Jr. is averaging 19.3 points, 5.9 rebounds, 1.3 assists with 1.3 steals, getting you a block per game, shooting 53% from the field and 81% from the free throw line. Very efficient production from him so far this season. Now, how sustainable is it for him to continue producing this way? 76ers just got Jared McCain back. They're working Joel Embiid heavily back into the rotation. You have Quentin Grimes, who have a lot of mouths to feed on a team that hasn't even introduced Paul George into the mix. I think at some point, you also have EJ Edgecombe producing strongly. So all of those factors combined, something has to give and somebody's going to drop off. Will it be Kelly Oubre Jr.? Hold on to him and don't drop him until we find out. This young big man has been a defensive monster, and the offense hasn't even been there, but it should catch up sooner rather than later. Kalkbrenner is averaging 9.1 points, 7 rebounds per game with 1.3 steals and 2.4 blocks. Stocks monster right now, only taking 5 shot attempts per game, but he is making almost 83% of them. Not hitting any three-pointers, not really scoring, but this is a rookie still 2 weeks into his career, and he's putting up these sort of defensive numbers. That bodes really well for his long-term upside. Quentin Grimes, a guy we just discussed a little bit ago, mostly went undrafted because the understanding and the consensus was that he wouldn't get enough touches or playing time to produce the way he was at season. But so far, that has not been the case. In the last 2 weeks, he's averaging 12 shot attempts per game, making 44% of them, 4.9 free throws, shooting 76%, 17 points, 4.4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.3 steals, and 2.7 three-pointers per game. So very well-balanced production. But like I said previously with Oubre Jr., it's a game of musical chairs, and it's possible that he's the one that ends up falling off. If you have him right now, hold on. Things have still not shaken out the way they're going to. Paul George still has not returned. Joel Embiid is not fully acclimated back into the offense, and Tyrese Maxey is playing like a man possessed. Speak of the devil, Tyrese Maxey is scorching hot right now, and I think it's sustainable. He might end up finishing a top 10 player over the last 2 weeks. He's shooting 23.1 shot attempts. Even on a team where Quentin Grimes is scoring, where Oubre is scoring, where BJ Edgecombe is scoring, where Joel Embiid is scoring, this guy is still managing to get 25 shot attempts per game. He's not wasting them either, shooting 47% on 23 shot attempts. That level of volume and efficiency is huge to get from a point guard. 7.9 out of his 8.9 free throw attempts, almost 90% from the free throw line on 9 attempts per game, 4.6 three-pointers, 34.4 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, 8.4 assists, getting you 1.1 steals, 1.1 blocks. As much as I stress the importance of targeting players that hit multiple benchmarks, this guy is hitting all of them. If you drafted him, you have to be doing really well right now. Now that we've discussed the players that are outdoing everybody's expectations, let's discuss the ones that are severely disappointing us, the ones that we drafted early, the ones we had high hopes and dreams for, and the ones that are crushing us. First up on my list is Ja Morant. Even though his production isn't awful, he's making 20.4 points per game, getting you 7.1 assists. He's only making 0.7 three-pointers per game in a league that's very three-point oriented. So even if you're a big man, these days 0.7 threes is nothing. 95% from the free throw line on 6.3 attempts. That's great. 17.4 field goal attempts and only making 39%. He is killing you and your field goal percent. But it's not even the statistics that's making him a faller right now. It's the fact that it seems like his team is ready to move on from him. He was recently suspended for 1 game for comments detrimental to the team. And essentially what he said was that the coaching staff feels that they do better if they don't play him. And I don't think he's lying when he says that. The tea leaves are all saying that Ja Morant is probably going to be traded this season. It looks like they're ready to continue in a different direction that does not include Ja Morant. Someone I'm very disappointed in so far is Myles Turner. He's averaging only 9.8 points per game, 2.1 blocks per game, and 1.9 threes. That's pretty standard. That's why I draft him. But the points are much lower than I expected. I was expecting 15 to 17 points from him. He's only taking 8.8 shot attempts and only making 40% of them. And he's only shooting 58% from the free throw line. That's much too low. Last season, he shot 77% from the free throw line and 48%. I would strongly consider sending some buy low offers for Myles Turner. That is right. A lot of these guys, even though they are falling, that means this is the cheapest you'll be able to get them because there's very disappointed owners looking to move on or seriously regretting picking them up. And you want to take advantage of that panicky feeling that they have and steal away a guy that's very likely at the end of the season to be much better than he is right now. Somebody else I feel very strongly about also fits that criteria is Cooper Flagg. This guy was going in the top 50. I didn't draft him anywhere because I tend to stay away from rookies until they've proven themselves to me, exactly because of what we're seeing. People drafted him expecting him to drop 20 points per game and 10 assists per game immediately. This is the NBA, the speed of the game, the lack of experience. There's a lot of factors. You're no longer in college where you are the dominant force. So if somebody drops him, or if somebody is panicky, you might be able to steal him away. Over the last 2 weeks, only making 38% of his shots, is making 100% of his free throws. 1.1 three-pointers made, 13.6 points, 6.3 rebounds, 2.9 assists, under a steal. But again, very early on in his career, and he's probably going to do much better. I always think of this example, but Trae Young's rookie season, he started the first few months off just putrid, super high expectations. Luka Doncic came out of the gate killing. Trae Young did not. He was very inefficient. He was turning the ball over a lot. He was just not helping you. But what ended up happening is right after the All-Star break to the end of that season, Trae Young actually ended up outproducing Luka Doncic. He got more acclimated to the speed of the game. Their body gets more used to the wear and tear, and you see them do much better later on in the season. And with all of the opportunity Cooper Flagg has, and I would try trading low for him. So this next player is one I entirely avoided drafting because of his injury concerns. And just like clockwork, he is injured and is going to be missing the next several weeks. I know we had a lot of hope for Zion Williamson this season. He lost a ton of weight, came into the season in great shape, and was producing decently. 22.2 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists, getting you 2 steals, but 15.6 shot attempts, making 48% of them. He was killing you from the free throw line, only 66% on almost 12 shot attempts. That is his punt free throw territory. Also not getting you any threes, which is why I tend to avoid punt free throw guys. But even if you did pick him up, you had to anticipate the injury risk involved with Zion Williamson. Anthony Davis is another injury risk that we should have seen coming. I drafted him again this season. I've been burned so many times by Anthony Davis, and it feels like he burns me. Then I don't draft him, and then the year I don't draft him, he kills. And then the next year, I'm like, well, you proved yourself. And then I draft him, and then he burns me again. And here I am burned. It looks like he's dealing with a low-grade calf strain, but hopefully it does not lead to further complications like we've seen when Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum were dealing with calf strains and ended up tearing their Achilles, which means he's probably going to miss the next week or two. They're probably going to play it safe because they don't want him going down for the entire season. When playing, he was doing decently, taking 15 shot attempts, making 52% of them, 6.2 free throw attempts, shooting 74% from the free throw line, only 0.6 3-pointers made, but getting you 20.8 points, 10.2 rebounds, 1.6 steals, 1.2 blocks. So when he's healthy, he's one of the best producing big men in the NBA. But that if is working really hard. Not going to lie, not only did I let myself down with this next guy, I feel like I let you down because I told you I have a ton of opportunity with this being his second year. He should take a leap and that he was worth maybe even reaching for. And so far, he's been Reed Sheppard has been one of my biggest regrets to draft. You 8.4 shot attempts, only making 40% of them. 0.2 3-pointers made in the limited minutes, 9.6 points, 3.3 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 0.2 steals, 0.2 blocks. Just nothing exciting there at all. I thought he would step up to the occasion. It has not happened yet. You drafted him expecting him to be an early round producer. You have to be really disappointed with the output you've gotten from him so far. This next guy, I wasn't super excited about going into the season, but I let the hype with other fantasy basketball fans and supporters, and even you in my comments, I let it get to me, and then I built his value up in my mind. And so far, I really regret making that move. There's no other way to describe what Khalil Ware has been other than a disappointment. I drafted him in the top 80 when there were a lot of other good players available because his upside was so enticing. But it's very hard to show your upside when you're not getting minutes at all. He's only getting minutes in the teens. He's not useful enough to help my team. His averages are 9.7 points, 6.6 rebounds, no assists. The playing time is not there. And if the playing time is not there, the production will not be there. And if the production is not there, you need to be aware of Khalil Ware. Yes, I'm corny. I don't care. Shut up. This next guy, we should have had some tempered expectations. What those tempered expectations are much higher than what he's actually been giving us because season Josh Hart led the league in minutes per game. He was playing for a coach that runs his players to the ground and plays them 50 minutes in a 48-minute game if he's able to. And Josh Hart was the main beneficiary of that coaching style. But now the Knicks have a brand new coach in Mike Brown. His minutes have dropped, his touches have dropped, and he's just not producing at a high level. I still think he's going to end up being better than he is right now. So he makes for a decent buy low target, or if somebody drops him and moves on, I think he's worth picking up and stashing. Only 6.2 points, 7.2 rebounds to be his trick. He can really rebound for a guard. Last guy on our list, and somebody I did draft heavily, normally inside the top 45, is Desmond Bain. So far, over the last 2 weeks, averaging only 13.9 points, 3.9 rebounds, 3.5 assists, no steals. For comparison, last season, Desmond Bain averaged 19.2 points, 6.1 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 89% from the free throw line, 48% field goal, 14.8 shot attempts. Vast difference between his production last season and his production now. Blue side, what we're seeing right now is the perfect buy low window. Also, keep in mind the Orlando Magic have one of the strongest fantasy basketball playoff schedules depending on your format. So if you grab him now for cheap and he manages to get it together by the time it's the fantasy basketball playoffs, you suddenly have an asset you're producing. I think that's the reason they make for very nice buy low targets. De'Aaron Fox should be returning, but we just found out that Dylan Harper is going to be out the next few weeks. If De'Aaron Fox comes back here in the next week or so, that's going to open up a lot of touches and a lot of usage that he wouldn't have had with Dylan Harper being healthy. Since he hasn't proved opportunity to send a buy low offer for De'Aaron Fox, he is one of the best multi-category producers that you're going to be able to get from the point guard position. He helps you a little bit with everything. Last season, he averaged 23.5 points, 4.8 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.9 threes, shot 82% from the free throw line, and 46% from field goals. Decent assist to turnover player, still young, still a lot of upside, and playing with Victor Wembanyama, which should only make the game easier for him. Tyler Herro should still have a pretty wide buy low window, and he is traveling with the team, but it's like based on this latest blurb, he should be out until the middle of November. It's like we're on the verge of getting Tyler Herro back. The top contributors and produced in almost every category that you could want from a point guard. Last season, he averaged 47% from the field on 17.9 field goal attempts, 87% from the free throw line on 4.2 attempts 3.3 three-pointers made, almost 24 points per game, over 5 rebounds per game, which is much more than you can ask. That is my video. I really hope you enjoyed that breakdown. If you did, do me a favor and smash that like button. Leave me a comment letting me know which of these guys you have, which of them you're targeting, and which one of them you're just dying to get rid of. Don't forget to join my brand new Substack. There is a link in the description. I'm going to the night one that I've been doing that helps you identify sleepers before anybody else. It's the most detailed nightly breakdown that you're going to get anywhere, and you can get it by joining my Substack. Also consider becoming a member of Barack Lesnar Hoops. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. It means the world to me. Until next time, this is Barack Lesnar Hoops. See you.